September 17th, we have a lunar eclipse, and we're going to talk about the Bitcoin astrology and predictions. None of this is financial or investment advice. Welcome. If you're new here, I'm Jack. I'm an engineer gone crypto astrologer. On this channel, I combine technical analysis with astrology. Be aware of the spam bots in the comments and don't fall for crypto scans, so just ignore those. Watch this video to the end, as I'll give my Bitcoin predictions at the end of this video. So let's take a look at the total eclipses. I found some really interesting data regarding the total solar and lunar eclipses. So if you look at all these red vertical lines, those are when we had total or annular solar eclipses. Annular is very similar to a total solar eclipse. And then the blue lines are when we had total lunar eclipses. Now, historically, the total lunar eclipses were very bearish, and we either saw a major dump. Look at this blue line. We saw this dump back here in 2021. And then typically, the total solar eclipses are more bullish. We headed into a bull market there. And then these total lunar eclipses were bearish. They typically show up in bear markets. And take a look at this 2017 bull run. All of these total solar eclipses and annular solar eclipses, and then once again, the total lunar eclipses bring us into a bear market. So this is very significant. What's interesting is that, well, throughout this bull run, we have been getting those solar eclipses, total solar eclipses and annular solar eclipses. We're going to get this annular solar eclipse coming up on October 2nd. I'll be coming out with a video about that, so definitely stay tuned for that video. But this eclipse, it is not a total lunar eclipse. Okay, we can take a look more specifically exactly the eclipse, but let's take a look. We'll look at the Bitcoin astrology here in a moment. If we look at this eclipse coming up here, this is a lunar partial eclipse. So we're not getting a total lunar eclipse, which is good news for the bulls because it's more likely that we are not going to get a major dump. It's more likely that we're not going to head into a bear market just yet. So I just wanted to point that out. That's good news there. So let's look at the charts. Let's look at the Bitcoin chart here. We'll take a look at the price action. We have headed down a bit, obviously, in September, but we are starting to show, dare I say, are we starting to show some strength? We did, we got a wick down to 52,600, but we have headed back up since. We are sitting above this trend line, which is good. It's always good to sit above a trend line. This trend line goes all the way back to October of last year. We've hit it one time, two times, three times, and then we just hit it again. So we want to stay above that trend line. So far, so good. In fact, we just got a wick down to that trend line. We're bouncing off of it barely, just a little bit. So we want to, we don't want to go back below this. We don't want to have daily closes below 56,000. What we really want to see for bullish momentum, we want to get up here. We want to get above really about this level 57,900, 58,000 approximately. We want to get above 58,000 and start heading upwards. That would give us a lot more bullish momentum. If we look at the weekly, we did just get a weekly close. We headed down. Last week we headed all the way down to that 52,600. We bounced up. We closed at 54,800. It's good. We are above 53,000. Now we're getting green up, and we want to hold above that trend line. If we do a 50% level from the last couple weeks, the 50% level is 56,000. So yeah, like I was saying, we want to hold above 56,000 ideally. We don't want to get a bunch of daily closes below 56,000. We want to start heading up, get above 58,000, that is what we want to see, because we do have a lot of things against us. If we look at the 2-month, this is really critical here. If we look at the stochastic RSI, I'll clear it up here. We see that in the last 2 months, on the 2-month chart, we got a stochastic RSI cross down. Now, historically, that is very, very bearish. In fact, that typically marks the market peak. It did in 2021, and it did, well, we got a cross here. Oh, let's go to the other chart. We got to go back further in the history books. We got a cross here in the peak of the bull run, November 2017, and then we did back here as well. So the only hope is if we get something like this, if it's just a fake out. And so there is a possibility that we're getting a fake out here, that stochastic RSI is dumping there. Let me see if I can zoom in a bit. Stochastic RSI is dumping right there. Ideally, the next 2 months, we'll check in the next couple months. Ideally, this is a fake out, and the blue line goes right back above, and we go right back to 99. In that case, this sometimes does happen. It's not super likely, but in that case, we could continue the bull run, but we got to keep our eyes on that. We also got to keep our eyes on the price action. Bitcoin's got to head above, 58,000 like I was talking about. It's got to do that soon, and we got to continue to see higher lows and higher highs forming, and that would give us some more hope. Why are eclipses important? Well, endings and beginnings, they typically bring major shifts in our individual lives and on the world stage. I also just showed you an incredible historical analysis on how typically the total lunar eclipses bring us into a bear market, and the total solar eclipses and the annular solar eclipses bring us into bull markets more often than not. Eclipses also lead into major world events. The total lunar eclipse of 2022, we had the FTX collapse. And the one before that, we literally had the Luna collapse. I mean, you can't make this up. Astrology is unbelievably correlated to world events. And it typically marks major market shifts. So I was saying, I predicted in my September video, you can go back, look at my channel, watch my September video where I predicted September is going to be a month of major shifts in the market. All right, let's take a look at the astrology for this lunar eclipse here. It's on September 17th, and it is in Pisces. The moon is in Pisces. Now, I put some red here because not the greatest energy for crypto. It's not super bad, but it's also not great, because typically we are getting a moon conjunct Neptune at 3 degrees, and typically markets don't like Neptune so much because Neptune can bring confusion, deception, illusions, and when people are confused, when the markets are confused, markets don't do so well. Now, we also have Saturn is opposing Mercury, which is not great because Saturn is the planet of contraction, opposing Mercury, the planet of trade. And a lot of people are trading in the markets, but it's bringing that contraction there potentially. Venus and the South Node are both in Libra. So South Node is pretty much the dumpster of the astrology chart, so not good energy there either. Now let's take a look more specifically at the Bitcoin astrology. Because we're talking about Bitcoin today, we want to know if, how this energies could affect the Bitcoin price chart. September, all throughout September, we're getting Pluto conjunct the Bitcoin Jupiter. It's in orb. This is a minor positive because we're not getting a direct hit. Then September 17th, on the day of this lunar eclipse, we are getting Mercury trining the Bitcoin sun. So we are getting a little bit of positive energy there for Bitcoin. So that's good. I like that. We're not getting any major negative astrology, so perhaps Bitcoin holds up fairly well. Perhaps we maybe just continue to trade sideways. Maybe we continue to stair step upwards a little bit. Maybe it's probably not going to be any major pumps, but it's not looking bad. Another note is Ethereum astrology is looking even better. So very, very good news for Ethereum. Let me know if you guys want me to make an Ethereum video. Things are looking good. So I'm feeling pretty bullish on Ethereum. I did buy some, but not financial advice. Really quick, definitely subscribe if you're liking this video so far and if you want to receive critical crypto and astrology updates. All right, hit that button. Now let's take a look at this very, very, very interesting chart. Stay tuned. This is Mars. So this is the different signs Mars has been in historically throughout the years, throughout the last 10 years, and how Bitcoin performed when Mercury was in each sign. So when Mercury was in Aries, Bitcoin did very well. This is this red line. When Mercury was in Taurus over here, green line, Bitcoin did well. When Mars was in Gemini, excuse me if I said Mercury, I'm talking about Mars. Mars is in Gemini, it does okay, not great. When Mars is in Cancer, it does not do well historically. Now, interesting thing, unfortunately, is Mars just went into Cancer. It's going to be in there for a while. So this is bringing some bearish momentum to Bitcoin. With that being said, there could still be some hope, and I'll share with you right here. I'm going to close this. Now, let's take a look at Jupiter. The different signs Jupiter has been in historically throughout Bitcoin's history. But actually, this is taking a look at the S&P 500 index. So this is how Jupiter has affected the S&P 500. But the S&P 500 is the macro markets, and typically what the S&P 500 does, Bitcoin does very similar price action. When the S&P 500 goes into a bear market, so does Bitcoin, and vice versa. So Jupiter is now in Gemini right here. And historically, that's pretty darn good. I would say it's good. It's not excellent, but it's good. Historically, Jupiter does pretty well in Gemini. So that, hopefully, that can cancel out the negative effects of the Mars in Cancer. Okay, so there is some hope. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. One really interesting thing, just, I've covered this throughout past videos, but it's a great reminder, is that this is the Fed net liquidity, and the red line is how much the federal government owes with interest payments. Very interesting thing, when the interest payments were going up 2019, 2020, what happened 2020? A lot of people started coughing, and it allowed the Fed to print a lot of money and catch up and pay off these interest payments. Now what's happening right now, it's teetering off again, whereas the interest payments owed is skyrocketing. All right, it's going exponential. So very interesting that the Fed is probably looks like they're gonna have to start printing a lot, an absorbent amount of money here. So this is actually pretty terrifying in some ways, as the Fed might have to print double the amount of dollars that exist in the world right now in order to pay off these interest payments. What kind of catalyst is going to cause that? There's probably going to be some major world events. Okay, I'm just looking at this chart. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. How is the Fed going to print that much money without the people getting pissed off? Okay, let's head back to this one here. Now, the Russell 2000 is also going to have to break out. We still have not seen a breakout in the Russell 2000. And every time in history, we can take a look at the chart really quickly. Every time in history with the Russell 2000, it hit an all-time high before crypto broke out. So we'll go on the monthly. It's still hanging out down here. It still has not got an all-time high since the 2021 bull run peak. The S&P 500 has, and the Dow Jones sure has, and the NASDAQ has. But we are still waiting on this Russell 2000 here. All right, so we're going to need, if we want Bitcoin to go to an all-time high, we're going to need this to break out, and it has to do it fast. All right, that's another critical thing there. Now, an announcement, the Crypto Astro Mastermind. These are monthly group Zoom calls. If you like these free videos, imagine what you can do if you can get access to me every single month on a group call live, where you can ask your questions. All the meetings are recording for your convenience. These are monthly detailed astrology analysis. Receive insights on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of your favorite altcoins. Okay, guys, join this group if you want me to take a look at specific coins, but you do have to get the birthday and birth time and location. You'll get to ask all your questions to me. This is a supportive group. Connect with like-minded individuals, mastermind, and elevate your crypto strategy. This is a small, curated group. You're also going to get access to the Telegram group, where you can get updates on there from other experienced traders and investors. You'll get Bitcoin historical astrology, study the past to forecast the future with me. You'll get market timing. This is extremely valuable. Know when it's time to get out of the markets before the next economic downturn. And I have a pretty good idea when that is. I can let you know inside the private group. Maximize your profits. Learn the secrets to maximize all your hard-earned money towards the market peak. All right, you get lifetime access with just one payment. This is arguably $3,000 of value, if not $10,000, as some of the information you're going to learn in here is going to allow you to double or triple X what you would normally do in your crypto investing. I'm going to throw in some epic bonuses. Guys, I just recorded an amazing Crypto Astrology 101 course. It's a 2-hour crash course on crypto astrology. Everything I have learned in the past 7 years boiled down into crypto astrology, making it simple and easy for you to understand. Super high value, so potentially a 2K value there. And also, I'll also give you my top altcoin picks with 10x to 20x potential. This is a masterclass, 60-minute, where I go through my top altcoin picks and why. All right, so that's extremely valuable right there. Could easily pay for the entire value of the program. And guys, I'm going to give you at such an unbelievable deal. I'm almost like, why am I even doing this? It's such a great deal. It's for only one payment. It's not $3,000. It's only $497. It's only one payment of $497, and you get lifetime access to this, guys. All right, you definitely want to jump on this before I change my mind and I like triple the price, because this is super high value. All right, the next live group call is happening September 17th, the day of this lunar eclipse. So we're going to be diving so much deeper into the astrology of this lunar eclipse and help you prepare for what's to come in the month of September, heading into October for the Bitcoin astrology. All right, so Bitcoin predictions, what you've been waiting for in this video. So we're definitely going to see probably more volatility, more indecision in the markets, as long as the Fed only cuts once, which so far today there's a 65% chance they're only going to cut once, not twice. And there's no sudden surprises, no crazy world events, no escalations in the Middle East, things like that. Bitcoin could show a bullish formation heading into October. All right, so that's my prediction right there. Beautiful, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Definitely like and share this video with someone you care about who could benefit from this amazing information. And of course, hit that subscribe button. Please support this channel, putting out so much high value information for free for y'all so you can improve your crypto journey. All right, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.